Welcome to the Power Lunch Podcast, your midday dose of boldness, brilliance, and a little bit of badassery. I'm Amy Souza, here with my powerhouse co-hosts, Tracy Muntz and Lisa Carmichael, and we're coming in hot to shake things up. Each week, we dish out bite-sized, high-impact conversations on business, health, purpose, wealth, and the wild, beautiful chaos in between. Whether you're building your dream, rebooting your story, or just catching your breath, this is your space to get grounded, inspired, and reignited. This isn't just another podcast, it's your power move. Let's go.
Today we are so excited to welcome a woman who embodies creativity, resilience, and heart-centered leadership with nearly 2 decades of experience in marketing, communications, and social media. Sheryl Berg is the founder of Lemonade Media Group, where she blends her creative passion with her greater purpose, helping businesses tell their stories with authenticity and heart. Sheryl has built and owned 3 businesses, grown through every season of entrepreneurship, and today she is raising 3 young, beautiful daughters with her soulmate, all while living and loving the life they intentionally created. Sheryl today is here to share her wisdom on the creative confidence boost, showing up online without overthinking everything. She's relatable, she's real, and she has a gift for helping women step into their voice without fear. Sheryl, welcome to the Power Lunch Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited, and anything that I can do just to help other women out there that are doing so much and have so much on their shoulders. I'm just happy to do that. So happy to be here with you lovely ladies, and yeah.
Well, we love having you here. And we also have a guest. Nicole Muntz is stepping in for Amy Souza today. So Tracy and I have been running the Power Lunch Podcast, but it's fun to have you join in the conversation today. And so we're going to just have a fun episode.
I am so excited and honored as well to be in this presence of you women, and I cannot wait to see what happens here.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been on a podcast before?
No.
Oh, this is so exciting.
You guys are popping my bubble of podcasting.
Very nice.
Love it.
We do love virgins.
So, yes, Tracy is your mother. So
Tracy
she
is
can't
right.
Yes. We'll let her say that.
That's got more things.
You'll hear us multiple times probably say this exact same thing at the exact same time.
First off, I just want to say your trousers are very cute.
Thank you. Would you like to know?
No, not right now, but they're very cute.
Thank you. They're green and lovely.
Yeah,
They're green. That's probably
really
why I like them.
Nice forest green.
I am really super excited to talk to you about everything social media because I hear so many different things about social media. So tell me a little bit about your backstory. How did you get into social media? Has this been something, tell us a little bit about your backstory.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I started out just my career kind of exploring different things. I was in the wellness industry for a while. And then I got into actually my ex-husband's business. His parents owned a third-party administration company. They basically do flexible benefits, HSAs. So it's kind of in the health insurance world. Not super exciting, right? Because I've always been more of a creative person, so it's very administrative and everything. So when I started working for his business or his parents' business, I found that there was a need for creativity, in that space. And so I moved from an admin position there into a communications role where I was doing a lot of, interacting with people, video, writing, writing and publishing articles, newsletters. And then as the business evolved, there was this need, and as social media was growing more and more and just kind of exploding, there was a need to do that, and I just jumped at it just because it it just kind of really helps with my creative process, and like storytelling is really the key. So that was really like my start into like marketing, social media, communications. And then after my divorce 5 years ago, I had to reinvent myself. I still loved marketing and social media, but then I moved into the aesthetics industry. So then I was doing social media and marketing for that industry, which opened up a whole new just world of like different connections and information. And right before the divorce, I actually wanted to start Lemonade Media, and it just wasn't the right time. So I put it on the shelf for a little bit, and just 3 years ago, I just knew it was the right time to get started, and so I worked full time and started Lemonade Media, and was doing that, coming home at 5-6 o'clock from my other job, and then hanging out with my family, putting the kids to bed, and then doing Lemonade Media until midnight. And just this year, actually, I left my full-time job, and I took a leap of faith. I'm like, I'm going to build Lemonade Media now full-time, and it's been great. It really has. So that's kind of my whole story and how I got started in it, and it's just, I love it so
I love
much.
how you leaned into what you love.
Mm-hmm.
That you have a passion for that creative side.
Yes. And, it was really like having different businesses too, because, we eventually took over my ex-husband's parents when they retired. We took over the business and purchased the assets. And then my ex-husband was an entrepreneur, so he started all these businesses. So guess who was doing all the marketing and the social media for all these businesses? So that's where I really got like a lot of experience and learned a lot. But going through that process, I really learned when you're doing everything yourself, it can feel overwhelming to like, okay, now I got to think about social media and marketing. But I realized how important storytelling really is, and how do you set yourself apart? Like, how do you, tell your own business's story?
Well, and I was just, sorry, I'm going to say one more thing. I was just talking with someone about storytelling and AI, because AI is starting to tell all the stories, and you have such a beautiful way of creating the stories on your own without relying on AI. Mm-hmm. I'm almost tempted, like, when I post something, this was not generated by AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's definitely an interesting world that we're in right now, and that we're moving into with AI, on the forefront. And, it can be such a great tool, and it's knowing when to use it, and then, but how important it is if, you were born with that creativity, you want to express it, you can use AI as a tool, but it's not a replacement for like what's inside you, So
True.
I think it's amazing, as another mom of young children who has started other businesses, just how awesome you are. I mean, it takes a lot of work to do a full-time job, to have children, and then to start your own business afterwards. So I just want to applaud you on that. What can you share a moment in your own business when overthinking almost stopped you, when the fear of stepping into something new challenged you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it has been kind of like, I am a overthinker 100%. So like, for me, I have to cognitively like try not to overthink. And so, at the very beginning, when I was trying to figure out the timing of starting Lemonade Media, I mean, I was overthinking that, and then, okay, well, like, I had some classes in school when it comes to marketing and things like that, but what if I'm not good enough to like run a marketing agency, like, and then, so then you're overthinking that, and that's a whole process. So I think the biggest part of the overthinking during my journey has just been starting the business up in general, and like, okay, like, just overthinking, like, hiring people and like all these things, and like now I have to, you know, I've been through it with how many hats you have to wear, but it was really just intentionally taking time to really focus on the goals and like accomplishing one at a time. You know, foundations are built one brick at a time. So if you overthink, you're kind of like scattered everywhere.
Did you find, like, I know for my mom, Tracy, she's a huge journaler. Is there anything, any tool that you found that helped get the ideas out of your head and sometimes onto paper, that then you could look at them from a different perspective instead of just constantly rattling through them in your head? And then you have this amazing idea, and 5 minutes later, you're like, what was that idea that could have changed the entire flow of my business?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I totally believe in journaling, and getting it down, and then you can refer back to it. And I always I have all these notebooks on my shelf, and I make sure to date everything. So then I know, okay, that's the January notebook. This is when I had that, and if I need to refer back. So absolutely. And then I also do just a lot of voice notes. So like I can sit there and I can just get it out of my head. If I don't want to write it all, then it's like, okay, I kind of these voice notes categorized. So then I can go back, okay, let me just listen to this and what I was thinking. And then, if I have extra time, I'll go and listen to them and then write the really important things down. Because sometimes it's just, info dumping. Yeah. And, you need to do that too. That's part of the creative process.
My mom always knows when I'm driving because I info dump and I call her.
I love it. Yes.
That girl can talk. I'm just saying. Hey, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So for myself and also for my listeners, there's many times that I find myself wanting to post on social media, but I'm afraid. I feel like nobody's listening. I feel overwhelmed. I have, there's all these pretty social media things out there. I feel too old. I feel like my content isn't relevant. Although I know that it is. What are some steps or some things that you recommend to just put yourself out there?
100%. And I see that a lot. The biggest block, again, is what we're talking about, overthinking. Especially women feel, pressured to show up polished, right? We're often conditioned to worry about how we'll be perceived. So we're taught to, look put together, or don't be too much, don't mess up. And social media really amplifies this because it's comparison culture. We're constantly comparing ourselves to other people and I don't want to look stupid. I don't want I just feel silly, So this creates this pressure instead of creative expression. So we need to so what do we do about that? And I will say, overthinking, is it a bad thing? Let's just ask that question first. What do you guys think? When it comes to overthinking, is it all bad to overthink?
I don't think so. I think when you have somebody to bounce ideas off of, that's when you get to a resolve that you never thought of, because you're not doing it just by yourself. So having that friend or that person that you can call and be like, hey, I just need to bounce this idea off of you.
Yep.
I don't need you maybe to even have an input. I just need to get it out into the world so my brain can process it a different way.
Yeah, 100%. So overthinking is because it comes from caring. It's because you care, and it is a sign that you want to make an impact. So it's not a flaw. Now, yeah, too much of anything is no good, right? But you just need the tools to be able to channel that creativity instead of fear. So a great confidence boost, number one. Are you ready for a 10-second mind shift here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
So instead of thinking, will people think this is good? Because that's what we're thinking about most of the time when we're creating something. Ask, who does this help today? So who because here's the thing. If your words help one person, the post has already done its job. And it doesn't matter if it's one, it could be 10,000 people. I mean, that's awesome. But it's just a way of looking at it where you're not thinking about like, okay, is this going to be good enough or whatever, but you know, who is this going to help today? So it shifts your attention outward instead of just inwardly focused.
And that ties back to what you just said, move from pressure to creativity. I love that because we put so much pressure on ourselves. So you just gave us a prompt that we actually can use with AI to generate content.
100%. And we've seen this over and over with our clients. When they show up and do what they do best, whatever their craft is, and there happens to be a camera, that type of content gets the most views. You know, so it's just showing up what you do best and just being you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's important that you don't have to be the new viral sensation. You have to be something for somebody, and you don't know what that somebody needs until they need it.
100%. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and the other thing is it's celebrating imperfect content too. Because if you look, and we've seen so many types of content, but the stuff that is imperfect does the best analytics wise and just reach, because it's relatable. Like, nobody's perfect, and so people like seeing that. They like putting themselves in other people's shoes. And if it's like perfectly polished and like flawless and all this stuff, they can't really relate to that as much.
You mean not everybody's house is immaculate?
Right?
What?
Oh, let's stage it first and then take the video.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the filters either.
Oh,
No.
right.
Ugh.
No.
I like to go on like raw and real. Like,
Yeah.
look at me. I have a,
I always love too when you get the people who are like, "Oh, I may delete this later." Why? Why do you need to delete
right.
it later?
Yeah.
Just be what you are in the moment. And in the moment right now, I don't know if I can say this, but my S is not together.
And that's okay.
And that's
right?
okay to not have everything perfect and well planned out.
I
Yeah.
think that's what holds a lot of people back, is that perfection factor, that they just don't want to start. And that's true of
100%.
anything in business, whether it's the social media part of it or whatever you want to do in business, creating a video, creating content, writing that vision statement, writing that business plan.
Yeah.
Does not have to be perfect.
It's so true. You don't need the perfect camera, the perfect angles, a script written, like a whole makeup set. You need the 3 P's. You ready? This is all you need: presence, passion, purpose. If you have those things, if you're passionate about something, you want to get in front of a video and talk about it, if there's a purpose and you're just present in that moment, that's all you need to make great content.
Do you think stories or posts?
Oh, stories, 100%. Oh, you mean for like the actual stories, like Instagram stories?
Do you post more on stories? Is the post where you put your curated stuff and then you really put your, well, it says stories, you put your life, those 3 P's in your stories?
Yeah, and I'd say a little bit of both. So stories are perfect just because they're up for 24 hours. People see them quickly. People like quick, right? So anything that you want to catch people's attention, or, this is what I did today, or it's more of that relatable stuff. A lot of times that stories is used for that. Posts is going to be a little, maybe bit more of the polished type things, the things that you maybe spend a little bit of extra time in, and then it stays there. People can refer back to it. A little quick breakdown too of like mixing content. So 40% of your content should be that imperfect everyday content. 25% should be educational and valuable. And then 20% should be storytelling content. So like team highlights, why we started, personal struggles. 10% should be sales, promotional. And then 5% should be more of like maybe the high end, stylized shooting, that kind of thing.
Yeah, where did the whole B-roll concept come from? It had to be something that Hollywood started doing, and now all the influencers on Instagram are creating these B-roll, which is kind of like what we're doing here with the podcast too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I think it's more of like, you know, again, it's the imperfect stuff or just the flow of everything that people want to see, not like the complete scripted setup studio type stuff.
But what really stinks is that the B-roll is becoming polished.
There's fear of judgment even in the B-roll.
What do we do
100%.
with that when it comes to mindset?
I think, again, as long as you know as long as that passion is coming out, that's what's going to reach people. You know, I would say social media is constantly changing, and that's not going to stop. But it's making sure that you're not intimidated by that. You're your own person. Because some of the stuff I see that has just the most views is just people just being themselves. And like, there's not all this stuff. You know?
Well, and I heard an interesting fact, like with our attention span, it used to be 1 post per day. And because so many people are on Instagram now, 1 post a day is not enough to grab someone's attention if you want to build the followers. So who has time to do that? And that's why we have Lemonade Media Group that can solve that problem for female entrepreneurs.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I can tell you that our clients are some of them not even posting every day, and they're still growing significantly. So there's little tricks and things. Maybe that can be part 2 at some point what we talk about.
Yeah, we love return guests.
Yeah.
Hey, we only have a couple of minutes left, and we just did a podcast, and depending on when this one comes out, and it was a rapid fire, and I have some rapid fire questions for you. I love this conversation. I just want to end with, on this conversation, how in my business, I try to go on social media, and then I'll have a customer say, "Oh my gosh, I saw you on Instagram," and then I stop. Then I'm like, I don't do it again. And it's like this subconscious thing. Lisa, you wanted to share about the mastermind. So,
well, I just wanted to make note, because of Glass Ceiling Foundation, we started this mastermind, and Sheryl, you are part of this cohort, and I just wanted to hear anything that has been positive for you.
Oh, 100%. You know, I think it's just been really nice to be around other business owners and get everybody's perspective and how they're looking at things, because and what their challenges are, you know, and it makes you feel like, okay, I'm not the only one that's going through this. And then everybody can bring to the table something to help each other with. And that support system is huge, especially like when you're a small business and you wear many hats and you're trying to do a lot on your own. So it's been beautiful, really. The connections. I'm gonna be like sad when it's like done for the season, because it's like, oh, I've gotten to know these ladies as just like, okay, you know, like it's really been great.
Well, but what a beautiful opportunity to continue to grow that outside the mastermind. And now having built those relationships that would have maybe never been built before.
Yeah,
how amazing.
Absolutely. Here's the whole thing, just with the final thought with the overthinking and all that. So we don't need to be perfect to be powerful online. So we all have our story. It's just telling it and just being confident in that. So I'm just challenging the listeners today to create something and not overthink it, and just watch what happens and just put it out there.
I love that. I think we'll end there rather than doing these rapid fires, because I believe that what you're sharing is all of us needs to take note, especially going into 2026. So I appreciate your time. I know that we will have you back. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nicole, for guesting, guest hosting with us while Amy wasn't with us. We really, really appreciate you. And you do have nice trousers. Always fun to sit down with you and meet new people. And
it's such a gift to be in the same room with the three of you.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies. Appreciate you.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. If something we shared sparked a new idea, gave you a fresh perspective, or simply made you feel seen, we'd love for you to pass it on. Share this episode with a friend, a colleague, or a fellow powerhouse woman who's walking her own journey. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep rising, and remember, there's no ceiling you can't break through.